All right, SNL covered the dueling town halls on their cold open this week, and I thought it was noteworthy and worthy of me talking about for many reasons, so I'm going to get into that right now. But first, I want to kind of admit that I did this, I reacted or shared my thoughts to the cold open from the season premiere a few weeks ago, and I am aware that these types of videos are not the most well liked as far as like people liking, like thumbs up liking, because I'm doing like a semi-serious review of a comedy show, which I know kind of defeats the purpose for a lot of people. But the reason I actually like doing this type of video is because I like to analyze, try to figure out what's going on in the minds of the writers or the producers of the show, and kind of try to figure out what their motive is, and also explain from an audience perspective what came across, and kind of the any contradictions between what I think they were trying to do versus what actually came across from my perspective. So I hope that kind of clarifies things. I'm not trying to be like a critic of the comedy. I just wanted to kind of share what I observe and my thoughts on it. So just keep watching that, and I try to not be too serious about it, of course, because it's a comedy show, but I just think that's the most interesting part, is kind of figuring out what angle they are coming at any topic from, knowing what I observe through any bias that the NBC who runs SNL has, or kind of the bias of whatever topic they're covering. In this case, the two town halls. I think it's just interesting to see that happen, and I like to think I come from I observe things. Of course, I admit my bias and whatnot, but I'm able to observe kind of the reality from what they're trying to portray. Anyways, let's get into this. So actually, before we go on, if you want more of this type of video and also political, social, and cultural commentary throughout every week, make sure to subscribe to this channel, whether you're watching on Rumble or you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to do that and turn on post notifications before we go on. So let's continue on here. So the first thing I thought and was observing was clearly Maya Rudolph plays a more likable, more palatable version of Kamala Harris than Kamala Harris does. And that impression out of all of them, out of Jim Carrey playing Joe Biden, out of Alec Baldwin playing President Trump, and whoever plays Mike Pence or whoever else is involved, I think the Maya Rudolph impression of Kamala Harris is actually doing her the most justice and is actually helping her cause more than any of those other impressions on the show, which, I mean, it kind of supports my theory that they actually want her to be president. We can get into that, a different story, but let me know what you think about that as far as the theory around Kamala and Joe Biden. But I thought that was been my takeaway so far, and I think it's proving to be right. But what I really want to talk about is what we are witnessing just in media in general, but it was really highlighted here in SNL again, which is the attempt of the media to squash the whole QAnon narrative by just continuing to ask people to kind of discount it or to debunk it or to illegitimize it, by continuing to ask the president and other people who maybe support him to debunk or to condemn the whole QAnon quote-unquote conspiracy theory, which a lot of what they're trying to have people debunk is the whole anti-pedophilia agenda of the movement, which, if you've followed Q or you have any idea of what it is, whether you support it or not, you know that it is not just one thing. I think we can all admit that. But they're really focusing on the anti-pedophilia agenda of the movement, but what it is actually doing is the opposite in light of actually Congress passing legislation condemning the whole movement in general, not just one part of it. And it is actually, that action specifically has spearheaded kind of the media to cover it, and then also it may have actually given some people some evidence to maybe feel like it's actually legitimate. If the media and Congress are giving it the attention to going out of their way to condemn it, they may be thinking that it's actually legitimate. So that could be another problem, that they're actually helping the cause, whether they mean to or not. That actually might be their goal, is to get more people supportive of it so they can say, hey, look at this is a really dangerous big group of people who believe this weird thing, and then they can kind of spin it in their own way to kind of do that. But I don't think it's working, because the more you talk about it, the more people who didn't know about it before and are more likely to actually support it and work against your initial cause. So anyways, but Like I said, the elites in Congress and the powerful in the media are so adamant to condemn why are they so adamant to condemn something and give it so much attention if it's just a silly conspiracy? I think if you or I get asked, and this is kind of advice I'm giving, about QAnon, we should turn it around on whoever's asking you the question and ask, do you condemn pedophilia? Because if they don't answer it or they don't condemn pedophilia, that to me indicates everything we need to know about why they may be debunking this, because they may be complicit in some of the things that the quote-unquote conspiracy theory addresses or shines a light on. So we'll see what happens with that. Could all just be they're bored and can't find something else to talk about. I don't know. But it seems like they don't touch on things that they don't want to spin the narrative on or gain control of the storyline. And that's... There we go. So, and now as far as the motive for the entire cold open skit, Savannah Guthrie, who is the one that hosted the town hall on NBC, which was simulcasted on MSNBC and CNBC, which I actually had to watch on MSNBC because they weren't showing it live on my local NBC station, so I had to go on MSNBC, and I'll touch on what happened at the end of the town hall and what that meant. But anyways, Savannah Guthrie was played by Kate McKinnon, who I think does a great job most of the time. I think we can all admit that, which is why she has a lot of Emmys from the SNL show. But Savannah Guthrie is from NBC. SNL, Saturday Night Live, is on NBC as well. So to me, it's no surprise that they played up Savannah as this heroic, what they were calling a secret badass, and then they made George Stephanopoulos, whatever his name is, of ABC as not that, as kind of a lazy whatever, kind of letting Joe Biden get away with things with whatnot. So to me, it would have been a bad look if they had gone after one of their own, and I don't think they would ever do that. The problem is if you're watching and you don't realize that. Even though MSNBC has the letters NBC in it, maybe if you only watch SNL, you don't kind of connect the dots as far as it being part of NBC and then the ownership structure or whatnot. You may kind of take it at face value, especially if you didn't watch the town halls and then this is your first kind of exposure to what happened. Maybe you don't watch the news all day, every day, like I do, or aren't as in tune with it. It could work if they spin it in a way that's not very truthful, but people kind of take it for what it is maybe more truthful, and it could be a problem. So that's also why I kind of like to do these videos sometimes, where I kind of tackle a comedic perspective and kind of filter out the truth versus not the truth, because comedy is supposed to push the boundaries, of course, and it's supposed to kind of be a little extreme, a little I always mess up this word, but not anecdotal, but hyperbolic is the word I was thinking of. I don't know why I can never think of that word. It's such a weird, I guess I don't use it enough. Anyways, I want to get back to what I was saying, which was that at the end of the debate, the town hall, which, as I might remind you, was supposed to be a debate night. Hopefully this next debate happens, we'll see. But it's interesting because the first episode of SNL, they joked that the first debate might be the last and only debate of this election cycle. And I mean, the next debate's only in 4 days, so anything could happen before then. But it appears it's going to happen. But I wanted to touch on what I've had to experience after the town halls. So I actually watched President Trump's live, like I said, on MSNBC. I got clips of Biden's throughout the next day. And they led right into Rachel Maddow, who has her own show on MSNBC, and I can only take or stomach 6 minutes of it, and before I needed to crack open a beer, my last beer I had from some visitors who came, and the whole time she was just trying to distance herself from the fact that her boss, MSNBC, and then her boss, NBC, hosted this town hall with the president, and she even tried to distance herself from NBC, saying that was a production of NBC News. We are MSNBC, but I mean, Rachel, just newsflash, you're part of the same You're part of the same company, so I know she's probably ashamed of the president, but at the end of the day, she probably got really high ratings from the lead-in audience, and her company that she works for probably made a lot of money, which at the end of the day, we know that is what they're really there for. Mainstream media, as long as they're making money, they're happy, right? Even if they pretend that they don't like whoever they're covering, it's good for the ratings at the end of the day, and you need to make money to have a job. So we'll just leave it at that. So let me know what you thought. Did you watch SNL? Did you watch the town halls? Did you think that it was a good take on the town halls? Do you think my portrayal or these videos are stupid because I'm trying to make a serious-ish review of a comedy sketch show? Let me know what you think. Do you analyze the shows the way I do, where I try to figure out what's going on? Let me know in the comment section down below, whether you're on Rumble or on YouTube, or if you share this on Parler, make sure to tag me so we can chat back and forth on there as well. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up if you've made it this far on Rumble. Hit the punching bag to Rumble on top of this video, which is, I think, where it is on both the mobile and the desktop platform, so make sure to hit the Rumble thing, because actually a lot of my videos have been cracking the leaderboard on Rumble, which is really exciting, so thank you for all that support. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you have not subscribed either on Rumble or YouTube and turned on post notifications, make sure to do that now, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.